Well, the story's finally here, guys. One I've been promising you guys about. One you guys have been following me on Instagram and on Twitter about constantly, even on Periscope, watching me go put out mineral site, checking cameras, you name it. It's a buck of double trouble, or DT as we like to call him. The DT's been coming around the last 2 years now. He showed up 2015, the day before season started, which I didn't think much about him because he was all nocturnal. This deer was just constantly nocturnal, never seen him in the daylight, so really I kind of wrote this deer off as a killable deer. But in 2016-17 season, I was able to get permission for the adjacent property where I thought he was bedded at, and boy was I right. The biggest contributing factors to harvesting this deer had to have been the deer management I had started probably 5 years before this. Between the food plots, mineral sites from Antler King, it just exploded my deer population. I can't say enough about how at one time or another that these deer were almost non-existent on my property because of neighbors. They harvested 15 bucks and like 20 does one year, and my deer numbers went down to nothing. And in that time, I just got this game plan together. I started following whitetail freaks. I started looking up Antler King. I finally started watching a lot more deer management stuff, and over that time, my property has went from having only 3-year-olds at maybe 80 inches. Now my 3-year-olds are somewhere around 140 inches. My biggest deer, to date would be DT, which he rough scored at 178 3/4. I couldn't be any more happier than what has come about. But, here's the story on DT. As you can see, I hate doing commentary, so I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can. We'll see back with you guys here in just a few minutes after you get to kind of see what the process has been the last couple years. Going into the 2016 season as well, I had a lot of stuff on the back of my mind. I've had misses, I've had bad shots. As you'll see right now is a deer I named Slim. He come in at 40 yards and he ducked my arrow. I mean, that's just as plain and simple as that. And that kind of hit me low at that time. That was, I believe, in the 2014 season or 13 season or so. And he got away, and he's still alive today. Luckily, I got pictures of him this year, and he turned into an absolute giant of a 10-point, probably 160, 170 inches. There's nothing much more to say other than, what proper management can do for you. When the 2016 season rolled in and I started getting pictures of DT and DT in the daylight, DT all over the place, my mineral sites, food plots, you name it, I realized then that I want to do something a little different this year, the way I approached how to hunt him. I only maybe hunted 6 days out of the entire deer season this year, and on that 6th day when DT was harvested, which was November 6th of 2016, what I did this year, instead of just hunting, I waited for the absolute perfect time to go in. I didn't waste my times up in stands on bad winds or on hot days or when I wasn't getting pictures. This deer, he disappeared from basically August 1st on to into September, which I got really worried because I thought he was gone forever. This deer would not show up. I mean, I was putting out mineral, you name it, just trying to find him. I even went back into his bedroom and put a camera up. And finally, on September 1st, he showed back up, and I about had a heart attack because he was a giant. 5th, we got out there to the farm. Got there about 9, 10 o'clock, and we decided to go ahead and hit the tree. It's rut time. It's November 5th, a very well-known day for rut activity. So we decided to go out. It's a little warm. Had a southeast wind, which for one of my stands is absolutely perfect. It sits only about 60 yards off the top of the bedding area, and we're in a huge funnel area with a pond and a field just to our right. We get up there, we get a stand hung, and I come to realize that the wind's coming up from my neck, which ain't right. Well, so we jump down, go back to the truck, grab the other stand, go to the other stand that's about 150 yards past that for a northerly wind. We set that stand up, get up there, get right, wind's blowing on my neck. That's when I realized that the wind at that time was swirling extremely bad. You could not set up in this area without blowing deer out. So that first day we had to call it early. It was only about 2 o'clock. We got the heck out of there because I knew if we stayed up there and he come in front of us, it would all have been game over, which was really hard to do knowing that you only have a few days to hunt and then you have to back out on your first day just because the wind's bad. But this also goes back to going back to what I said just a little bit earlier and saying I wanted to hunt on perfect winds on perfect days, so we waited till the morning. When we waited till the morning, we got up, we had a perfect wind out of the southeast, so we made our way back to that stand. We get up there, we get set up. Bad thing is we did blow a deer out early that morning. And from there, I'll just let you guys see the video. It got crazy after daylight. We rattled in 6 or 8 bucks. We had a couple shooters that we seen. Then the big boy shows up. And I can't stress to you enough, guys, we are not professionals. We do not care. We just had a damn good time up there. You know, my buddy Jordan, this was his very first deer hunt ever, period. And for 178 8 3/4 inch rough score deer to come by, he got amazing footage. Only thing he didn't do is fall the deer off. I'll let you guys just watch the raw footage of that because it's actually kind of hilarious. We lost our mind. When that arrow got released, I seen the placement of that arrow. All I wanted was a high five from him, you know, and he of course drops the camera down, and it was basically mayhem from there. So you guys watch the video. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys here in just a few.
Okay. We just gotta jump. Did you have him? Did you get him? I'm gonna get him. Yes! Dude, we got him. We got him. Was that a good shot? That's a perfect shot. Dude, keep filming. Don't stop. Keep filming.
I think it is.
You did push record, right?
Yeah, it's still on record.
We got him. We got him. I think that. I don't know who that is. That's a big buck. That's a really big buck. Yes! Give me some, brother. Dude, I hit them horns together. Oh my God. I'm shaking.
So
Dude, we hit them horns together. And honestly, coming through them trees was. Oh my God, I don't even know who that is. I don't know if that's DT. I don't know. I'm shaking so bad I think my phone's vibrating. Oh, is it on autofocus?
yeah.
That's DT.
It is.
That is him. This thing is heavy. Oh my God.
At least he's not too far from the trail.
And he's all downhill. Alright, well, it's November 6th, and rut's officially on in Kansas. I think we rattled in 7 bucks this morning. Me and this guy, we had another shooter buck come by we called Chunk, real thick 8-point. Hit him with a little bit of a snort and wheeze, and he postured up, but he went the other direction. So we gave it about 10 minutes, and I clanked the horns together. And lo and behold, here comes this brute storming in. We couldn't identify the buck at the time coming in, but it's a buck that I know all too well. It's a buck that I'm after, him and his brother, who I dubbed the Bash Brothers, be Elvis and DT. I called them Double Trouble due to the double split brow tines. Little kicker up front. I'm so happy right now, it's just stupid, man. I've worked so hard. My biggest buck to date was when I was 11 years old. I'm 27 now, and you know, I've worked so hard putting in food plots, mineral sites, you know, hanging stands, which we got a set right here behind us, and you know, came in at 20 yards, had no clue we were there. You know, we just had a phenomenal morning, probably one of the best mornings I've seen in a long time. But other than that, my season's over with. We're gonna go out maybe tonight and try to get Jordan his first deer down, my cameraman. I can't thank him enough for coming out here and being my cameraman, because honestly, if I was self-filming, there's no way I could have got footage of this deer, because he came in so quick, so hard, and he had one opening, and I stopped him, and if it wasn't for that, it would have been nothing. So, Jordan, I thank you. This deer is a hog and a half. I mean, heavy, heavy deer. So, we're gonna get this bad dude cleaned up and go give myself a taxidermy bill.